Let's adjust the seats here. They feel rather fine. They look good and they are sporty, but they feel comfortable. These are seats that you can travel for long in. And I like the pattern of it. It looks a little like some old man or woman's clothing in some style, but I like it. It gives you some retro feel. And the steering wheel is just as sporty as it is in the R version. I mean, look at this. Really good. And you get the physical buttons. Thank you for that. We always love these. So this is the GTE, the more sporty plug-in hybrid version. And I just like plug-in hybrids. That's a bit of my thing. I've had a lot of them. And this is one that has been popular since it came into production. But now it's even better. Now you got a range of about 131 kilometers. There's also the e-hybrid version, delivers 204 horsepower, a little more comfort setting, and it provides you with a little better range, 141 kilometers. So that is really good. I mean, that's plenty enough. And if you want to charge it up, you can do that at a fast charging station at up to 50 kilowatts. That is just good. I've tried that out on a Mercedes 400e. It's really good to top it up when you got about 100 kilometers plus in range in a plug-in hybrid battery. I mean, on the road, it becomes even more efficient and a lot more economical. So I like that. Traveling on the highways becomes better. The battery pack is at 19.2 kilowatt hours. And it's not that thirsty. Combined consumption overall is 0.4 liters per 100 kilometers. And that is good. This big new screen, I've got a lot of comments. I've been driving the latest 8.5 R version. So we've run through the interior. We know how it looks, and it just looks very modern, very fresh, refurbished. But this new screen, well, it is big. People want big screens. Manufacturers want to provide customers with the big screens. But this one, I got a lot of comments about this one. People just think it looks hideous. To me, I think it's all right. Sure, it feels like it's just something that is glued on here. And yeah, if you sit low, it covers a little of your vision out. But it's not that bad. But the best thing about it is that it's quick. It's a new processor, so it's a lot more sharp in its handling, and it is rather intuitive. I like it. I'm not complaining about any of it because I think it is just sharp and you get quick into it. You learn it very quick. Then you got the sliders here and all of that for the climate and heating and volume. Good graphics in the center cluster here. You can see how the power gets generated, how it charges, how the power is put on as you throttle away. And you can just set the cluster here how you want it in different settings. You can have map, you can get the GT that becomes a little sporty, so it becomes the center cluster of the rev counter, and you also get the speed in bigger digits. So let's keep it in that. Looks good. So really nice feeling having those physical buttons. You can't get away from the fact that we like that because it's so distinct. It's some sort of tactile feel that you want. Getting those haptic ones that has a little delay in them, I don't like that, and I think many people don't like it, but you get used to it. As we always say, you get used to your car and then you don't complain that much about it. But that's what it is. It looks clean in here. It is just a nice ride. And I mean, this range, that is just plenty enough. You can do your daily commutes. And for me, I am very, very ambitious when it comes to plugging in. So this would be a perfect car for me. I would only run it on electricity because you can. And also, you can go about 1,000 kilometers on one full tank and while it's fully charged. So that is just splendid. And on the motorway like this, very smooth, very soft, very quiet. There are some different options. You can add on a lot of stuff, but this comes well packed from scratch, this GTE. This system has also got the new ChatGPT. It's only in English yet. It comes in Swedish for us Swedes later on, and it's rather logically laid out. You got your phone, radio, media, navigation, car, how you want it to charge, what you want to set the charge rate at. A very good layout here, which is quick. And you can also set your widgets, how you would like to reassemble them. You got induction charger down here, USB-C outlets, and yeah, that's about it. A little touch of aluminium look down here, but it looks just good. Not that plastic in its feel. It feels rugged and solid. It's a little too black and too dark for me. I like these bright colors in cars, but that gets dirty, so I think this is just convenient to have. But the seats, yeah, material feels just all right. Feels usable and sturdy, and can withstand some dirt and moist and whatever. But they have a good look to them, some retro look. It is a bit refurbished in the front and in the back. You got the matrix lights, you got the performance lights, and you got these ID lights, so it lifts the look a little of it. The power in this one, 272 horsepower. Now that is a lot, and that is more than the upped power in the new GTI, which comes with 265 horsepower. That is, of course, a lot lighter, a bit more race-focused, sporty-focused, but yet 0 to 100 in 6.6 seconds. That is just enough. And the best thing about a car like this, you can charge it up quickly. You have that many kilometers that it can go on for daily commutes. But if you want, you can take it out on some more ambitious roads, some sporty roads, and you can have a little fun. And that is a good hybrid for me. So this is a car that would sit rather well with me. E-mode hybrid, so now we're driving in hybrid. Let's get into E-mode. You can choose that if you just want to drive on electricity, force it to drive on electricity, or you can get it into hybrid, and then the engine kicks in. So different power outputs between these two modes. But let's drive it in electricity. And when you pull full throttle, well, it doesn't go over to the engine. That doesn't start. I think it's when you kick down. Yeah, that's when the engine kicks in, and it's plenty of power in that mode. If you want to drive a bit more sporty, well, just put it into sport, and then you can get into manual mode with the paddles behind the steering wheel. They are small. It just feels like small ears behind here. It could have been a bit longer, but that's what you get in the R version. That's long and good paddles behind the steering wheel on that one. Here, they're just small because maybe you won't be that eager when driving and shifting about in this car. But they're there, and that's good. And if you want to change the different modes, and you got Eco, you got Comfort, you got Sport, and you got Individual if you want to customize it to your driving preferences. This invites you to a bit of sporty feel. You sit low, it feels very tight, the steering wheel is as sporty as it can be. It's just a cozy feeling. And I mean, the seats, they're great, both for sporty driving and for comfy driving. And here we are with the DCC, and that DCC is so great. I mean, in the middle here, I don't know if you're that nerdy that you want to set it on these different things. I think it's 15 steps. So for me, it's either the most comfy setting or the sportiest setting. Having a normal and a sport button, that's all that is required. And that would be good for the adaptive damping to set. But here, of course, if you want to be nerdy, then you can do it whatever you want. You can get into steering, motor sound from the outside, motor sound inside. You can do it, you can get it into sport, you can set it individually. So you can do a lot here. But let's set it into sport and let's see what it's all about. Floor it a little here. I mean, the acceleration, you can feel that it does 0 to 100 in 6.6. And it just feels stable. Let's feel the brakes, hard braking. They're there. The thing is, with a car like this that regenerates, that they can feel a bit mushy. And yeah, there is a little bit of a travel. I'm pushing it rather hard there, but it doesn't really give me the feedback that I need. So you need to push it hard before that real brake force comes in when you want to drive it sporty. But regenerative drive, easier pace, that works rather fine. But there is a little gap there. So that lacks a bit of sportiness because it's so important that the steering is crispy and that the brakes have their full amount of feeling right through and through. And this lacks a little there. as in most plug-in hybrids and in many electric cars as well. But some are better than others. This one, it's okay. It's okay. Just need to push them a bit harder. And it wants me to focus. I mean, this is also the thing, always bring this stuff up, about having a big screen. Everything is filled in here. You sit and you maneuver everything from here, but still it warns you, keep your eyes on the road. Well, it's not that easy, right? I need to look down here. But this is the model that interests me. Sure, the Golf R for that hardcore enthusiast that really want to drive their pants off, maybe on the track days. I like the GTI. I think that one is neat. Front wheel drive, a bit lighter and a bit more of a challenge, putting down the power. There's something about that. But there is something more about this one. For me, personally, it provides you with enough power and just enough range for your daily commutes. And it looks rather good from the outside. Sure, it's a bit plain, it's not exotic, it's not like, wow, here comes a Golf GTE or a Golf R or something. That's nothing that, you know, stirs the blood in me or my emotions. It's just a good car. It is just a good car. And since this was born 1974, the Golf, to this date, it has sold 37 million. And I mean, that is a lot. And 2016, this became the most sold car in Sweden. So a very popular model, of course. And it's also synonymous with that hot hatchback trend, which you call Golf, Golf standard, Golf size. Everyone knows what it is. So it's a very well-known car. That's how popular it is. So this GTE starts from 510,900 Swedish crowns. Well, about 50,000 euros depending on where you live. Sure, that is a lot of money, but still, you get plenty of range and you get a very qualitative package. So using it for that small family, or using it for yourself or with your partner, well, I think it's a good all-rounder that is not too dull and just feels like a good companion that is practical. And the space is all right. Boot space, all right as well.